How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Trailmakers Creations by ThatDomGuy. Today we're going to be starting in the DETHRONE map because I builded me a buggy. Builded a buggy specifically for DETHRONE. This is called the Perfect DETHRONE Buggy. So the reason why this is built for DETHRONE is because there's a lot of patches of water in here. Now normally in DETHRONE, water kills you. If you go in it, like that. So I wanted to build a buggy that allows you to, once you get down to water level, like below 3 meters or 4 meters, it automatically pops into hovercraft mode to keep you above the water. So you can be ripping along like this, go right over top of the water, and as soon as you get to ground that's any higher than 4 meters, it automatically changes back into your buggy, and it's got a single cannon on it. So that it's not overly powered. It's not OP. So again, perfect for DETHRONE against somebody, so you can do some damage if you need to. At least you have a weapon. But the biggest part is not winding up going in the water, which just gives you a lot more options as far as where to go when you're playing. So if you want to slide out this way and then rip over across here, normally you can drive through this stuff anyways. But if you have a small vehicle, this allows you to keep more speed as you're going over the water, and then transform back into your buggy mode. So you can continue chasing the enemy. Claim that crown. I thought that was a pretty cool build. I've got these sensors underneath the front wheel wells here. When they detect something, they turn those hover pads off, and when it slides out, get down to water level here below 4 meters. On the back here is our altitude sensor. Those are also connected to all the pistons and the hinges, all that good stuff that slides out. So as soon as we get down below 4, 6, 5, 4, they pop out. The thrusters automatically kick in to keep you moving forward to get some speed over the water so you don't sink. So let's go over here to the flats so we can have a look at how this is put together. So we can see here in build mode, we have a set of pistons that slide out. It's actually a double set that slide out from this centerpiece. There's a double set there that are connected to these. So everything slides back and these sides actually come in contact with each other in the middle to make minimal space. Got some hinges under here to give them a little bit of slope. So you've got some stability, a cradle effect, an extra one underneath, and a couple on the sides here as well that slide out on a single pistons. And that's really about it. All connected to the altitude sensor back here. Just set to 4 meters. Trigger below 4 meters. And then we just have some small thrusters on the inside. There's a couple of seats in there, so it is a 2-seater. Got some lights. But these here are the sensors, as you can see, that are connected to all of the hover pads to keep them turned off when you're in buggy mode. So the easiest way to do that, because they automatically start on when you spawn in, is to have them turned off by a sensor like that, or you can put it on a hinge so it's looking at something and they're off, and then you just switch the hinge up so it's not seeing anything, and then that'll turn your hover pads back on. So I thought that was a really fun way as well. We've got a couple of hinges on the front here because we need these to slope up a little bit so when we're entering the water, the front end doesn't nosedive, because all of our thrust is just going above our center of mass when it comes to our hover pads. So that is the perfect DETHRONE buggy. So yeah, try and build one for yourself. See if you can come up with a different way of making that work. Having them fold out or glitch inside with pistons or something else like that. Alright, let's go back to our normal map and take a look at our next build. Alright, so the next build we've got here is an aquatic race car. Yeah, you heard me right. An aquatic race car. So as you can see, we've got our buoyancy devices as wheels. I decided to build my own wheels as well. We got some helicopter engines with some suspension and some hinges to try and separate the spokes, shall we call them. Slightly bigger in the back than in the front. This is not an aquatic seat, so we cannot go underwater or we'll get booted out. But I was thinking of a cool way of like a water walker basically, or a water strider, but using wheels. Like I want to be able to drive a car on the water. Flotation devices stay buoyant the entire time. If you change them at all, then you drop underneath the surface of the water. There are 2 gimbals on this thing, and that's simply to give us the correct amount of lift to pull us up out of the water. There's also some thrusters on the bottom and some small helicopter propellers. Not full-size blades, but the small ones on the belly to give us a little bit of lift up out of the water as well. Because again, these buoyancy devices aren't that great. You can see where it sits right now. That's about as high as it's going to sit. So, spacebar gives us our forward propulsion and pulls us up out of the water. W and S, again, are our wheels. So you can see with just W, again, we've got some steering in the body there, some articulation. So with just wheels like this, it's like, okay, that's a nice little paddle boat. If you want to cruise up the Mississippi River all day. So then we hit spacebar, or we hold spacebar, and we get this. Much more entertaining, don't you think? And again, we got a little bit of drift action when we're turning. So we want to make sure that we don't turn too tight, or else we'll get some roll action. And you can see we got some drifting on the water. Sometimes the front wheels just barely touch the water. Woo! So now the fun thing with this is you could actually race amongst islands, like on Treasure Island map, over on the far east of the island of the map. There's all those small islands that have water in between them, because as soon as these things touch land, it's almost like they're designed to come apart when they hit land. So number 1 also creates the spaces in our wheels, so we can let go of everything. We can see the way our buoyancy blocks are fairly close together. If we hit number 1, it'll space out our spokes a bit on both wheels. So that gives us a little more roundness. So just spacebar by itself will do this, and the wheels will actually turn. And you can't use it with just a spacebar. But I find you get a little bit more speed and a little bit more control if you hold W. You get the helicopter engine spinning as well. They act as stabilizers too. So as soon as these things touch ground, it doesn't matter how soft how slow, it doesn't matter. They just fly apart like they were designed to eject off of the wheels. That's actually how I started building something like this again, was trying to make wheels out of suspension pieces. But watch this, as soon as we hit the land, these things will fly apart, like, so it will come nice and slow. Maybe we can even drive nice and slow. See, as long as we're in the water, we're all good. But as soon, yeah, see, as soon as they hit land, watch this. Boom, boom, boom. They just fly off like, okay. There you go. Get rid of them all. Get rid of them. There you go. One more. There we go. Now we got none. Right? So now we can use our boosters and just our wheels. See, I was trying to make wheels like this. I use suspension. But it's pretty bouncy, as you can see. I'm trying to stabilize it, and again, not as fast as you think that it would be with those helicopter engines. Alright, let's go back to the water and rebuild our wheels. There we go. Number 1, open up our wheels. And away we go. This is the water racer. That was really fun as well. There's something else for you to try if you haven't thought of building a car that drives on the water. Alright, and let's head up to the aircraft carrier, take a look at our last build. Alright, so our final build of this video is the Chaos Bomber. This drops Chaos Bombs. Surprise, surprise. Chaos Bombs do not hit the ground. They stay about 30 meters in the air, and the bombs bomb the ground. Da da da! Bombs that bomb. It's the bomb, trust me. That's why it's called chaos, because they're random, and they just blow stuff up everywhere. So let's have a look-see at the bomber first, the plane itself. We got the double landing gear in the front, double landing gear in the back. That folds up automatically. We got our thrusters under the wings here. Pretty standard. We have our control surfaces on the back of the wings with our hinges. Got the fancy, ooh, why is that sticking out? We got the fancy tail in the back here using our wonderful new slope pieces. That is on a servo as well. As well as we got some servos on the end of our wingtips here on the back on the tail. Give us some turning and steering. And then we have 8 chaos bombs inside in the cargo bay. So this is a double-seater as well, so we'll jump in here and I gotta fix that sensor on the back. Why is this one sticking out like that, man? It's not cool, man. Now, our deployment system is number 1 to deploy, and then left shift to, or number 1 opens the cargo bay. There are the chaos bombs inside. Each one has a fire pod on it. It's got a gimbal that keeps it up in the air. There's also an altitude sensor there, and a cannon that randomly fires connected to an XOR gate, which is connected on each one. So those will all separate and then bounce around and just constantly keep shooting. Every 5 seconds they fire down to the ground. So one run's not too bad. You'll have 8 of these things bouncing around. They spread out pretty good. But you can land on the ground, and this thing is totally landable. Once you land on the ground, you can hit repair, and you've got 8 more bombs. Then you can fly over and drop them over the same area where the other ones are going off. Once you get to 2 or 3 runs, it starts getting pretty chaotic. A lot of explosions happening on the ground. So a challenge that I was doing with this while I was building it was see how many times I could bomb the aircraft carrier here and still be able to land on the aircraft carrier and take off again with the chaos bombs going off all over the place. But enough talking. Let's see these damn things in action, right? Shut up, buddy. Just fly the damn thing. Alright, so spacebar is our thrust, obviously. Let's straighten this out here so we just don't plow into that thing. This will actually take off somewhat by itself and stay level. Just hold down the space bar. And as you can see, she takes off all on its own. It's pretty well balanced. The landing gear folds up. And we are ready to go bomb something. So, let's turn around and fly over top of the aircraft carrier. Always fun making bombs with cannons on them, explosive cannons. Connected to sensors, because you never know if it's just going to blow up in your plane. I hate it when that happens. So we go up like this. We go number 1 to open up the cargo bay. Left shift drops those out. Number 1 closes the cargo bay back up. And as you can see, our chaos bombs start doing their chaos. So you'll see these little explosions all over the place. Those are the chaos bombs. So now we're going to try and land on the aircraft carrier. Oh, hey. Without getting blown up. Or, oh, that's no good. So let's jump out. We're going to come back up here because we don't want to reset. Because then it's going to get rid of all of our currently exploding bombs. So we're going to jump in here. We're going to take off again. Hopefully, without getting blown up. See, lift. There you go. Get in the air. Get in the air. She's a little heavy when you've got the bombs on board. A lot lighter and easier to fly once you've deployed your payload. You can see little explosions going off. Not too bad. Pretty random. If that was on the ground, right, you'd be able to evade that by driving around in a car. So we'll come up like this again. Open up the cargo bay. It's nice and sloped. Drop those out. They all slide out pretty quick. Number 1 closes that back up. We can see them drop. They hit 30 meters. And, oh, it looks like a bunch of them actually destroyed themselves. So let's see if we can land this thing again. Again, I say that like I landed it last time. Let's see if we can land it. Period. Oh. Remind me not to go to flight school. Fly away. Oh, I think I know what it is. Our bombs, cargo bay is not sitting properly, and it's giving us some tweak. Get some altitude here. And we'll drop those. Close that up. There they go. So they didn't blow each other up that time, so that's a good thing. So as you can see on the ground now, there's just explosions going all over the place. That's why it's called a chaos bomber. So if you just continue dropping loads of chaos bombs, there'll just be explosions going off everywhere. Good way to protect an area. Someone suggested, hey, you should try building some planes and bombers. It's like, I could do that. I think I could do that. So are we actually going to be able to land this thing this time? Ta-da! And the only reason why it says it's broken is because we dropped our bombs, man. So that's a Chaos Bomber. That'll be available on the shop as well if you're looking to bomb some things with chaos. Alright, that's all I got for you in this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed those builds. Let me know in the comment section down below what was your favorite. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you find out when my next crazy video comes out. And we will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.